That makes sense then. Okay, so I know earlier we were talking a little bit about Pig, right? Talking about Pig earlier, and about the times that you would like grab his legs to trip him out and stuff like that. What else happened with Pig?
That's all.
So he was a pretty scared pug, pretty rigid. And then whenever Damar would get near him, he'd like scurry away from him, or if Damar was on the ground, he would attack him. And that dog did not have a history of animal abuse. We met him pretty much from like a puppy age, right? So whatever happened, it was you guys. Gamorreon had his own dog that he tortured, and then we rehomed after a month, so we kept Pig away from him. Pig was Chloe's for a time. After Chloe left, we had Pig, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then to you guys, I realized this is too much. You guys are doing everything, so I have to get rid of Pig too. But what all happened with Pig? Like, Penelope's gotten slammed down on the ground before on her back, but did that happen to Pig too?
No.
So why would it just happen to Penelope? Pig never got slammed on the ground.
Yeah. I've never seen Pig on the ground.
Okay. Just moved his arms out from underneath of him to trip him?
I never like moved his. Oh.
Well, we just talked about that not a minute ago. So that did happen, but also there'd be times where you would look at me, right? Like you'd be looking at me and you'd move one of his arms and you'd just like snatch it and he'd fall forward and you'd laugh. And I would be like, dang, Damar does not understand anything. But we're learning that you've just been so smart the whole time that you did. So now I'm asking you, like you're being more honest today, what else happened to Pig? And why did he become so scared?
Satchel.
What else?
Satchel.
What do you know, Kanaya?
I don't know anything, and I don't think he ever was slammed on the ground. I said the things I've done. He said the things he's done. Penelope. He got more like tense and scared after like Chloe left, and he was upset about that. And me and Damar would cause a lot of chaos with Pig, and then Penelope would like bite his legs, and yeah.
Well, they would play bite. After Chloe ran away and she, got involved in drugs and stuff, the dogs just slept in your guys' room with you two, right? Yeah. Because I was healing from surgery for a time. I needed to rehome them. Or did one of them sleep with Dalton?
I think Pig slept with Dalton. Yeah, but I couldn't. Well, actually, they both might have slept with us.
I think they did.
I wouldn't be able to do any harm when at bed because I was in the top bunk.
And so then Chloe ran away, and then Dalton got a job in Ohio, so he left. So then it was myself, 2 dogs and 2 kids, and 2 kids were rascals, and 2 dogs was a lot. So then I rehomed Pig, and they wrote up about how he had been abused because of his behavior, which is true. Like, people are kind to their animals. They don't trip them or slam them or chase after them and scare them. So technically you guys did abuse him to a lesser degree than Kavarian, but still, I'm sure there's stuff I don't know about that. Like, the dogs would play in the backyard at that apartment when you guys would be slamming Barbies and breaking heads, you know. There was that superhero James doll you had, Demar, and I bought, I think, 2 of those because you kept like smacking his head into the cement and breaking his head off. Do you remember that? They looked exactly the same, so that might be why. How about you, Kanaya? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember we used to like fight and throw dolls around.
And stick their heads in the dirt and like wash their head off, and like they had nasty stuff in their hair. I'd find that. Oh my gosh, I remember that because you had so many black dolls and Barbies and babies, right? And then I'd start finding these dolls outside, just like smashed into things, and I'd be like, okay, I'm never buying you guys any more dolls or Barbies again. They're just all over the place, broken. So during that time of breaking everything, like the dogs were sometimes in the backyard playing, right? Like, albeit you guys weren't outside a lot, like you'd go out and then you'd come in, but they were around still too. So, is there anything I'm missing that happened to either dog?
No. Yeah. I guess we would throw the Barbies, and that might have scared them.
Did you throw the Barbies at Pig?
No, not at Pig, but like I would throw them on the floor and stuff, and that would make noise, and that might. Yeah, but I would throw them a lot of Barbies at a time, and that would scare them.
Yeah. I think part of it too is that Demara's gotten a little quieter over the years, but I'll start with Demar. But Demar was literally just like screaming from the moment he woke up until the moment he went to bed. Not like raging screaming, but just like kind of like just a doodle head, you know, just all of the time making noise.
Yeah, but I actually think Peanut's like adulting, and because Richie's the newer one and Pig's the older one, so we would have Pig and you guys would have Dalton. I mean, not Dalton, Pig. Whoa, Penelope.
Penelope was supposed to be with me, and then Kanai wouldn't respect that, and she kept running off with Penelope. So Penelope was supposed to be my dog. But then my tummy tuck didn't heal in time, so it took 6 months to heal at wound care. I lost my belly button the first time, and my wound was open by 6 inches. So it took some time to heal with that, and I couldn't deal with everything else and having to take care of a dog. So just kind of let you have that one. So I don't know if both of them were in your guys' room for a time or what. But yeah, Demar was just a loud heathen for a long time, and then Kanaya joined the party, so it was like a circus all the time. So I can imagine that made what's his name, Pig, a jumpy nervous system. Is there anything you want to add to it, Kanaya?
Yeah, that makes sense. That's dumb.
Huh?
So we were loud.
Oh yeah, neighbors complained and everything. Like that's been almost everywhere we lived. Like when we first moved to Milwaukee, I wanted to find a place that was in like a loud neighborhood, so that I knew that we wouldn't be kicked out, because you guys were just like, no matter what I said or did, nothing was respected or understood. So I'm like, these kids are maybe like intellectually challenged or something, because normal kids would listen to their parents and these ones just don't for some reason. So I'm like, okay, what can I do? Like, let's find a louder neighborhood, so we can stay somewhere for a little bit. So, but the problem with the louder neighborhood is that you don't always feel safe there. And like River West had some gunshots, right? So then we have to live somewhere quieter. But the issue with that is that you guys also have to be quieter. So then we got the kick out notice from the Upper East Side. And then we moved here for the schools. But then everything's kind of been hard here. So And then the neighbors are like, is he stealing packages? What's going on all the time? And I'm like, I'm not sure. Or being told from one of the neighbors that the artist walks by and steals their kids' gloves when, I mean, it looks that way when he's tossing them over fences, but it is very hard when everywhere we look and everywhere we go, you guys are into some mischief, right? So why, in summary of some of the things we talked about today, why do you guys not ever listen when grown-ups talk to you unless they're strangers?
For strangers, I don't know the reason for them all, but the reason for me is because I went to strangers to new person, and I don't want them to really see who I am.
What would you tell people strangers?
That's pretty deep, can I? What does that mean for you? Like, DeMar can answer for himself in a bit. What does that mean for you? Don't want them to see who you are,
like how I am. Like, I don't listen. Like, I'm rude, and I'm not like a good person. So I don't want them to see who I am.
Well, it sounds like you have an idea of what the difference is between right and wrong things, but like the impulsivity and I want to do this thing kind of overrides that sometimes. Does that sound about it?
Yeah.
Because throughout all of this, no one has said that you're not a good person. We've not looked at good and bad at all. We're looking at what is actually happening. So when you meet strangers and you act brand new and you ask questions that I guess every few months you ask me questions, but everything kind of starts over again, and you have these phases, right, about up and down, where like when you have like a new bestie, you're like quiet and kind of like less energy, and then you find your new favorite person and then you get more energy. Is that what that is you've just met somebody new and you're like, oh, I'm excited again for a little bit? Do you see what I'm saying? Is that kind of what it is?
Yeah.
With your energy?
I first meet them, I don't want them to know I'm not a great person, and then so I keep like a good energy, and then slowly like they figure out that I'm not a good person, so I'm not a great person, so and I do a lot of bad things, and so then they just know that, and then I just move along because they already have like thoughts about me.
No, I appreciate your honesty there. I think that sentence you just said is something worth talking about with your future therapist, if you feel like it. Because that makes a lot of sense.
It's like a trigger map.
What do you mean?
It's like, well, the starting is like all the, well, no, like, it's like opposite of trigger map. Like, you first start at the X and you find out.
I see what you mean. I got you.
And then.
You're very good with visuals, yeah. Once I see what you're saying. Okay.
Oh, it's also like a race.
In a minute. So with that, you're like, I found somebody new. I'm masking so they don't know things about me yet. We're besties. And then as they start to know things about me, they're not liking these traits that I have. And then they're kind of veering away, and now I don't like the things I think they think about me or what they might say. So I'm gonna kind of ghost or get away from them a little bit and search for somebody new. Yeah, pretty much. Okay. That sounds exhausting though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You have to keep finding somebody new every time. And do you feel like disappointed at some point in the other person? Like, oh, I have to do this again?
Yeah, it's tiring. But they slowly figure out stuff about me, like very slowly, and there's a lot of not great things that I do, and they keep on finding those things and figuring out things I do, and then they just know all those things I do, and then at the end, I just go away from them because I don't like when people talk about my behaviors, and that makes me feel really bad, and it hurts, and so then I just go move on to the next person, and it just keeps on happening like that over and over again.
Do you, like, I haven't met your recent friends, right? Like, I never met Justice, but like, with these people, have any of them said like, hey, this behavior has hurt my feelings or something to that degree, and then you're like, oh, maybe I can rewind and we can try to work on this relationship we have? Has that been a thing for you?
Well, all that stuff that happened with Justice, and we figured that out. We talked about things we don't like that each other do. We worked on that.
You just told me like one day one of you stopped wanting to be friends, so I don't even know.
Oh, I didn't tell you. Oh, that was like the night therapist.
Yeah, I don't know. You told me stuff I think mostly from Lake Bluff, but once you moved to Atwater, you pretty much stopped telling me about the friendships. So I don't know. I know the name, like you would tell me like every time Justice had a good day, Kanai had a good day, and whenever Justice would have a bad day, Kanai would have a bad day. But then there was like a few weeks or something where you guys were not friends or something, and it was the end of your world. And then I think your therapist and I were both like, this happens sometimes for kids, you'll probably make up. And that's the summary of the relationship as I know it. So what happened?
So, like one of us didn't want to be friends and that, and we talked about it, and we didn't talk that much about it, but we just talked like about like just like that, like the reason that I didn't stop talking to her, and then we were just slowly becoming back friends.
Okay, so you stopped talking to her?
Yeah.
Okay, why was that?
Because we kept on arguing.
Okay. Well, that sounds reasonable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what were you arguing about?
So first we were arguing, let me think, because we were arguing about a lot of stuff. There was one thing we were arguing about was like, so we were arguing about like over, like we were talking about, like, how sometimes Bayshore has like movies in the summer?
Mm-hmm.
And we were arguing about like, I was like yesterday when we were arguing about that, and then we got in trouble, like, not in that trouble, like principal office, but the teacher called us out, and then we were just like kind of being mean to each other.
Was it over like who was right and who was wrong about things?
Yeah.
But did she actually find out anything about you, or was it just that?
She didn't find out.
Interesting.
She didn't like find out anything.
And I haven't really heard you like trash talk Justice or anything. Like there was the friends last year where they were great and then they were terrible. But that hasn't happened with Justice, right?
No.
Like, this seems like this friendship's gone for a few months now.
Yeah, it has been gone for a very long time.
Wait, you and Justice are friends, right?
Yeah, we were friends on the second day of school, and then we stopped being friends. Like, I don't know, we got in that argument like 1 or 2 months ago, and then we're back to friends now.
I think in October, because you stopped your therapy with Cara in November, and then now it's March. So I started school in September. September to October, you were friends. October to November off, at least. And then what month did you come back to being friends?
We came back to being friends.
Like last month or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
So December.
February, March. So February.
Oh, I thought it was June.
You've known each other for quite a while then, yeah. Then you have Ava. You and Ava are friends.
Mm-hmm.
Anything happen with Ava?
Well, that Bella Howard thing and the Olivia thing.
She tried to get you as beat up, right?
Well,
And
yeah.
what else?
Well, she did a lot of stuff. So Olivia and Bella Howard are like best friends, and Bella Howard hates me and Justice because we had told someone that she were gonna get us jumped. So that's why she hates us. Like, she hates us the most. So she first went around telling everyone not to talk to us, and then she was telling Olivia like stuff about us. She said that Bella Howard said that we were like saying stuff about each other. I mean, like saying bad stuff about her and other stuff. And then Olivia and Ava are friends. So then they were talking, and then I forgot. Like, I heard something. I heard that they were talking about us, and then she started being kind of like, and then she started being rude to Olivia for some reason. I don't know what happened between them. So then I just stopped being friends with her because first she talks about me and Justice with Olivia, and now she's being rude to Olivia. And then another time was her and then so her and Bella, Bella Howard and Olivia were, Bella Howard was there, but Olivia was at Ava's birthday party, and then I still talk to Ava, but Ava and her really good friends. But then in the car ride home, she was telling me that Olivia's fake, and that Olivia was talking about me, and Olivia was saying cuss words about me, but then she says she's friends with that girl, but she's trash talking her too.
Okay. Are you and your friends? One question.
No.
And Mom could have come make me told me.
Neither of them. Okay. So this year, it sounds like you haven't had to continue the cycle of finding somebody new, right?
Yeah, no, not really. Yeah, no.
So that kind of sleepy period from the end of last year was really just when you were changing friend groups?
Yeah.
You didn't really have anybody energy to share? Yeah. These behaviors that you have just mentioned that you say are maybe not good behaviors, if they impact any friendships or anything like that. Maybe not recently, but to where you don't want people to find out about them. Are Are you having issues quitting the behaviors, or do you want to quit the behaviors, or what's the deal with that?
I have issues quitting the behaviors.
Okay, which ones?
Breaking stuff and lying. But I
think maybe try to tackle one thing at a time. So, like with the lying, what I told you is to try to say, if you know you're gonna lie, like, even though it might be embarrassing at first, but be like, okay, that was a lie. Actually, this is what I meant to say. This is what I want to say, right? And I've yet to see you doing that, but that would be a good place to begin. What makes you think that you lie for?
Mostly breaking stuff.
Watch your feet. Yeah, but we don't have much to break anymore. You've already broken all your things. You lie like frequently though, right? So even in conversation, it'll just be like flip flopping and telling stories. That's not about breaking things. And you said a few months ago, you lie like 50% of the time. Most of it because you're bored. But what do you do with that?
what I get out of it.
Well, now I'm curious about that too. Yeah, I guess.
When I get out of lying, it's like if I get to like say random things that I want to say.
Is it just like the first thing that comes to your head, or
Yeah.
are you like, oh, I want this person to think this thing, like think of me a certain way, or how does it work?
Just the first thing that comes to my head.
Okay. Does it come out pretty fast then?
Yeah. It's just like ask my question and then or like we're talking and then I'll just say so many things.
And like majority of the time you would say it's because you're bored?
Yeah.
Bored. And then the others, you're like, because I break things, so then the other percent of the time you would say is like because you don't want to have accountability for your actions?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Do you think you should be held accountable for your actions?
Yeah.
I can appreciate you looking so far away for that question. Okay, so if you get upset whenever annoyed is the word. You get annoyed whenever we talk about anything you've done, right? Like we've made it chill, we have rug time, we have family rug time, we do like the chillest that it can be, the most mindful that it can be for the situation. And you still shut down when it comes to that, and you still do the same stuff. So how is it possible to get better? Like if you have the issue with friendships, etc., and you yourself want to get better for you, but you are avoiding every opportunity to get better, what do you think would help? Like Rogers didn't help because you told the social worker there, the therapist, right? She's not a social worker, but you told her that you do the coping skills that I told you that I used. But I know you don't splash your face with cold water until yesterday when you were crying and I told you to go do it. Did you do it?
Yeah.
Okay. But I know you hadn't done it since then, or until then. So if you keep telling people who are supposed to help you, like that's what they're getting paid for, if you tell them what they want to hear, it's not going to get better. because then they think it's getting better, right? They write it down like, oh, she's improving, but then nothing happens. Like, do you want things to get better?
Yeah.
For yourself? Genuine answer.
I do.
You just seem pretty annoyed right now.
Not annoyed.
Is this gum or string?
String.
From what?
I don't know if I'm saying honestly.
Is it floss?
I don't know.
You really gotta work on the line though, okay? It's like, get the boredom, I get the up and down thing. I've seen that with you. But at the end of the day, you're gonna be a grown up someday on your own, right? So this, you and your friendships, that's gonna be you throughout your whole life and how you figure out those things and navigate it. But you have to think like, okay, this isn't sustainable to have to keep finding new besties every 6 months, right? Like, that's pretty tiresome.
What do you think? Who's your best friend?
No question to my. I already told you this like 6 times.
Because you just said it was like a lot, right? And it's very tiresome to have to keep doing that. And then when you do that, you have to create this whole new character of what you think something should look like, but that's because they don't know you yet. And then you're holding on with everything you can for that to not fall apart so they don't see it, right? Yeah, that's hard. That's stressful. All right, Tamar, how about you? How you doing over there? Yeah. Would you guys say that's like one of your top 3 emotions? Bored?
No.
No? What do you think your top 3? Not things you want to feel, but things that you do actually experience. In frequency, like most often I feel this in my day to day.
Annoyed.
Annoyed, okay.
Mad.
Mad.
Sad.
Okay, what makes you feel sad normally?
Like, sometimes I'm just sad for no reason.
I guess sometimes you seem a little down, but otherwise I don't really see you sad. I see you pretty moody.
Like, when I'm, like, not crying sad, but, like, I just don't, like, feel upset for some reason randomly. Like, how I feel annoyed randomly, even though, like, no one's around. Sometimes I just feel sad.
Well, the first 2 I understood because I've seen those and I understand your behavioral patterns, but the sad, what does that come from, do you think?
Well, actually, no, I have a lot of feelings. I feel like I also feel scared a lot too, and sometimes scared and sad get mixed.
What's
No questions why. It's my 7th time telling you.
I'm keeping asking questions.
Okay. Well, maybe it's good that you do know. I'm scared.
Well, I told you like a couple days ago, like thinking about people who are missing and people who like after me.
So, yeah, seeing like a missing flyer and thinking someone might kidnap you.
Or sometimes like I don't know why, but sometimes randomly I just think of like the worst things that could happen.
This is a question. You have on your desk. You have that thing from Rogers who said don't think something about don't think about the bad thing of the positive thing like that.
Okay, thank you. So, when you're talking about people that are after you or something, what do you mean by that?
Just like I don't know, people just dress in black, just like after me, and like sometimes people in white suits, like jumpsuits, just dragging me away.
Jumpsuits, like sweatsuits?
Yeah.
Like activewear?
No, like uniforms.
Dragging you away. Like, you believe that they exist and they're coming for you? Or this is like a dream you had? Or what?
It's just like I think it during, like, I don't think they're real now, but like, it's like a dream. Like a thought.
Okay. Is this something that comes up a lot for you?
Yeah.
Have you always thought about this stuff, or has it just been like since Lake Bluff?
Since like that.
Okay. Do you feel like with that girls group, that friend group, do you feel like they kind of exposed you with some things?
Yeah.
Could you tell me what you mean by that?
Like, cause I don't know, I should never gonna tell anyone I'm a doctor again, but you're gonna go to the bathroom.
Hold on, wait, what? We're literally mid-talk.
Well, they told, they kind of, I think, like, for some reason, some other kids knew that I was adopted, and they said that, like, after the phone call thing happened, like, the voicemails, the next, like, the week I came back, we were outside, and I wasn't talking to either, and I was mad, and then this, one of the girls in the group were like, you shouldn't even be mad, she's not even your real mom.
You're mad at me for what?
I wasn't mad at you, but I was mad at, like, the Aubrey and Piper and stuff, and then for what they did for the voicemails.
Okay, but you just said you shouldn't be mad at her. She's not your mom anyway. So it's mad at me. For what?
That's what other people said.
Yes, but why?
So, no, they said, like, no, so they said, I messed up my word. So I was mad at them, and like, you shouldn't be mad at, cause I was mad that they said stuff to you too.
Oh, so in the sense of like, you should be mad because there's not that attachment thing because it's not your bio mom.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So you got them. Wait, did they send you that message about?
You heard some of them, I think. They sent several last year. Yep. But some of them were like how Kanaya said mom's like a rat-faced something, and then I hadn't heard that phrase before. And then several months later, Kanaya called somebody rat-faced, and I was like, oh, maybe that was you. So I think that in some ways when you say exposed, like I know you're bringing up the adoption thing, which they did say, which was not a nice angle to take. But it's interesting to me that of everything they said, you're bringing up the one sympathy point, right? Like, I asked you if you felt like they were exposing you in the sense of like your behaviors, because that's what we've been talking about. And their voice notes were saying about your behaviors and how they felt I raised someone terrible. And then lastly, they brought up the adoption. So the behaviors, what were they talking about or referring to with that?
They said I was a bad kid.
Yes, but why? And why have you been scared of things since then and people bring you away like you're crazy? And the blackmailing thing that came up last year, but what else was there, Kanaya? What happened? This group of girls.
That's the only thing I did was I only blackmailed them.
What did you even have on them to blackmail?
Like I said that if they weren't gonna be my friend, I was gonna tell. Like one time one of the girls told me that she used to go in people's stalls in the bathroom. So I told her I was going to tell everyone that.
You told me something different.
What did I tell you then?
You said that you said that Piper pulled out
Somebody's pants, yeah, that's what I heard too. And there's something else?
She did that too, and it was like the whole bathroom. She went in people's stalls to put her pants.
Which that had been like years prior to my understanding, so it seemed like normal for the age. Not great, but you know, something that younger kids might do. So, what else happened?
And so then that's what I said to them. And they said I was a bully for doing that.
Okay. Why would you blackmail someone to be your friend?
So I would have friends.
But yeah, but why would you want friends that way?
So I wouldn't seem like a baby with my friends.
well, they were your friends, and that's not important, I'm saying. And because they were your friends, but you didn't have to blackmail them.
Well, okay, so help me understand then what happened between you guys actually being friends and then you had to blackmail them to be your friends. What happened there in that gap?
I don't really stop being friends, but
Kanaya,
I don't.
how did you lose out on 7 friends in a friend group? What happened?
I don't know, I just said they didn't like me or something.
Did you hear anything tomorrow?
No, but no. But yeah, it's probably not what you just said because what's her name? Samaya's in that friend group.
Right? Like Samara is the other black child in the group, and Kanaya was saying like, oh, they're racist towards me, but not Samira. So I'm like, okay, I'm not sure it's your race. Is there something else? And I'm not gonna say they're not racist. I don't know them, but like, I don't think that's the specific thing that we're looking at here.
Yeah, because if you're racist to you, they'll be racist to Samara.
So, what happened?
I don't remember why they stopped being friends with me. They have some of the kids, was like the group leader, or like the most popular kids in the group, and I don't remember why they stopped being friends with me, and the other people just followed.
I think weren't they trying to get Samira to do something? Whether I don't know. I don't think it was illegal or problematic, but maybe it wasn't the friendliest. And then you were trying to tell Samira not to do it or something, right? And then there was 2 girls who were like popular, and then they kind of separated the group or whatever, the friend group, into 2 different things. Were you trying to kind of work your way up to being like the top girl or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you kind of try to divide people up and it didn't work out?
No.
Well, how else are you gonna be top girl?
Yeah, because you probably wanted to divide the groups.
Why
So,
are you commenting
this is
on
not a question. I'm just saying. You probably wanted to divide the group, so but then you say something that another person said, and so you make someone else to make them mad, and that will put you at the top.
Or we can listen to Kanaya.
Okay.
What's up?
So, I don't remember what Simone was gonna do, but then I was telling her not to do it, and then we were all trying to like work our way up to being like people with the top girl or something, and we just showed.
It was such a small group of like 5 core members and like 7 in total, 2 of which were in a different class. What exactly defines the top girl? We know it's Piper because you all said that. But how are you going to replace Piper? Like, how does that work out?
So get everyone else to like me more than her.
Yeah, but like, how?
Like,
Shush.
I don't remember how we were gonna do it, but I was trying to figure out a way to not be the bottom person.
I mean, I think there was kind of a lot of rumors going around about Piper around that time, wasn't there? And then we got calls 2 or 3 times from Dean of Students and several times from the principal, all regarding rumors. And you, one time though, the principal called about a gun because I guess you shouted, "Oh, they've got a gun," somewhere in the school, and they had to talk to you about that because you scared other kids. But I guess rumors is probably where we're at with that. Did you spread some rumors about Piper? Then?
There wasn't any rumors.
Okay. How are you gonna dethrone the top girl if she's still there?
I don't know how I was gonna do it, but I didn't. I must have not figured out because I'm not.
Well, it didn't work, yeah. And then they were all like, "Can I quit? You're being terrible." But what happened?
Well, I was being more nicer to Piper, and then they got mad. Well, they all got mad, and Omri started saying stuff about me to them. Not Piper, because Piper was I was closer to Piper than all of them. And Omri was mad, and then she was not having it, so she decided, like, she got closer to Piper. She buddied up with Piper and became Piper's best friend, and then she tried kicking me out of that spot. And then now that they were best friends, I was like they don't say it, but they kind of show, like, I was all the way at the bottom with Guy, Smile, me, and Vita, and then there was the middle people who were like not the lowest but not the highest, and then there was the top girls. And
I think there's only like 7 people in your group, right? You just listed off like 5 people, and then there's Piper at the top. So you must have like exactly a chart of where everyone belongs. Is that the case?
Well, not. I don't have a chart, but it's like they kind of show like weird place.
What do you mean they? And what do you mean?
Like Luna, Piper, and yeah, that's it. Luna, Piper, and kind of Ombre when she like, yeah.
Is there anyone else in the group? Because it's
Anyway. So how did you go from being a bestie to the whole group flipping on you? Leaving the voice messages, and the adoption one is not okay, but the rest of them seem like they might be accurate if you were spreading rumors, right?
I didn't spread rumors.
Then what happened?
So then Ombre like was also budding up to Piper, and then they were like getting really close. And Luna, Piper's the top girl, everyone says it, but Luna's really bossy, and she mostly bosses Piper around. So her, Luna, and me, kind of also sometimes Luna switches who she likes. And Ombre liked Vita, so Vita moved up to the top and with the rest of them. And so then they sent it the voicemails, and the group was like, the group came back and they're like, well, Piper, and they're like, Ombre was being rude and being a rat. And then the whole like group wasn't there. It was just those two and one other kid. I don't know who it was.
I feel like you're still not really saying what happened though. They hated you so much they wanted you out for no reason then.
They thought it would be funny. Like, they thought I was going to forgive them.
But you were the one asking them to be their friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were the one saying, "I'm gonna blackmail you if you don't be my friend." So I don't think they were kicking you out to be funny, right?
maybe chill with them. If they have my back, I can just stop.
Hmm?
They have my back.
Soon we will, yeah. So what is it gonna?
That's what happened.
Huh?
That's what happened.
They just decided one day you're not in their friend group anymore.
No, they were mad because I blackmailed them.
Yes, but why did you blackmail them to be friends if you were already friends?
No, because because if like you're kind of at the bottom, you don't really like. They would plan like a lot of like stuff without me, and that didn't really like. They would leave me out on purpose, and that's not like good. Like not.
But why did that happen? Because in the beginning you were hanging out with these girls quite a bit. You went shopping with them one time. You were very involved, right?
Yeah, well, I hanged out with Piper like a handful of times, but I'm saying like they would like I knew about it because the whole group there was like a lot of seven kids in there, so and not all of them would keep their mouth shut, but like I went shopping with them once, but like they would go, I don't know, they went to some of them went to the premiere thing I showed you about one of the kids acting thing, and like they would have like big sleepovers that I wasn't invited to. They had one little party that I wasn't invited to, and then they would just hang out like all of them a bunch of times that I wasn't invited to because I was at the wasn't really big, and they made this little clubhouse. I don't know. Well, they were making a little clubhouse, and then someone told me, then Luna got like they got mad because I knew about it and they didn't want me to be there.
Hmm.
And they would just like plan a bunch of things without me, and I would figure them out. But then they would get mad that someone told me.
Hmm. So it sounds like they weren't trying to be mean to disclude you, but that they are allowed to hang out without you, right?
Yeah.
But that it can also feel lonely sometimes. And then we have to think like, that's their right though to do things without me.
But I don't think your friends would do that many things without me. They would invite the whole friend group and then leave like 2 people out.
It's possible that you guys weren't all besties, or maybe you guys had different social skills, so they want to hang out with you in extension and hang out with the closer people sometimes more often. But that's also acceptable too.
Yeah, but the 2 people I mostly hanged out with was with Mabel and Piper, and that's really it. And I went shopping with Piper, Lillian, and Aubrey. I went shopping with the 4 of them, but that whole big group of them, I was never the whole big group of them. I was never invited to that type of stuff.
What I'm saying though is that that's okay, right? It might not feel okay, but like we understand that like people don't have to invite us to things. If our behavior doesn't feel like it's friendship for them, they don't have to include us in more things.
Yeah, but some of that stuff was also before.
What do you mean?
Just some of like the little parties and big hangs out was before I did that thing, my blackmail them. They were all before.
Oh yeah, I think if you say you're gonna blackmail someone, they're probably gonna block you and not talk to you anymore at all. So I didn't think it was after that. So like